Hello, welcome back. Okay, so sorry, I got my little side light on. I'm burping because the sun sets here at like 6 o'clock. It's too early. But I wanted to talk to you about regret. Now, you've probably had stages of regret in your life or things that you've regret, but I wanted to talk to you about it in a way that might change your mind so that you don't believe in regret. Because I don't believe in regret, and I'll tell you why. I don't like using the word regret because I think that there is no such thing as coincidences, and there's no such thing as, I think everything happens. I know they say, oh, everything happens for a reason, but no, genuinely, everything happens for a reason. If you can go through life and actually figure out the lessons that you've learned from things, especially painful events, I feel like when you endure pain and things that really, you know, tear you apart, it's there's like a really this is probably a good way to explain it. Let's say your house catches on fire and you lose everything. Oh god, this is a really deep one. Then it's, no matter what, let's say that's going to happen. It happened. But how you react to it is how you are going to transcend and become a different version of yourself, because it's all about how you react to things. So to say that you regret is a really reactive emotion. It's a almost like it goes up there with like anger, because you're holding sadness to a situation that you can't control or that has already happened. So like being with a partner, oh, I regret being with them. Well, you didn't at the time. You enjoyed being with them at the time. It was great. You didn't have a crystal ball. You didn't know what was going to happen in 5, 6, 7 years or whatever it was. But I think what you should have been regretting is like the signs that your body was telling you that you should not be there or be with that person, because I can guarantee you probably didn't listen to them. That's what you should be regretting. Regretting not listening to yourself more often. And that's the lesson that you need to be learning. So when it comes to relationships, places, experiences, at the time you are choosing that situation and it made sense. And it might not have made sense, but it did. And you didn't know the information that you had after that experience. So it will make you a better person now that you know, because you have learned. But if you're going to go and do the same thing 3 times over, twice over, you're not learning anything. That's what you should regret, that you're not learning anything from what you're doing. Happy moments often come with painful endings. It really is that. You don't have to suffer in life, obviously, but sometimes you can have these beautiful relationships and it's going to end. And that's okay. You can have these beautiful friendships and they can sometimes end. You could work at a job for 5 years and had a great time, and you know what? You find that it's going to end at some point. You could live in a house for 10 years and then realize, oh, I've got to move on and move to another city. It has to end. But on the other side of that, what is there? On the other side of losing that relationship is somebody else that's going to love you better, or you loving somebody else just as better. On the other side of, the friendships, there's more people to meet, there's more experiences to have, and now you know what you don't want from a friend and what you need from a friend, and what type of friend you will become from living in that city or being in that place. You've experienced it, and now you know you can keep those memories to your heart, and then you can move forward and find what feels best for you. This is what life's about. It's about navigating what feels good for you after you've learned that lesson, because you should not regret. So I believe when true regret only applies when you go against your intuition. Like I said, when you felt like in those moments you should have stood up for yourself, like those moments where you should have walked away, where you didn't take action on something. What if someone came to you with a really amazing experience and you just go, oh, sorry, I didn't do that, and you regretted it. And yeah, that's when you should regret something, because you're like, I should have done that. But then when that opportunity comes along, what have you learned? When that opportunity comes along again, what are you going to do? You're not going to regret it. You're going to take it on board and you're going to go and do that experience. Don't regret it twice. Don't make yourself regret it twice. And that kind of regret isn't supposed to punish you. It's meant to teach you. Regret should not be in your vocab. I would say I don't regret much in life. I can't, like, and I always have said that. I think someone said that like on a first date, like, oh, do you regret much? And I was like, nah, everything's supposed to happen for a reason. For me personally, that's how I feel. I don't regret much in life because it's given me the wisdom to be the person that I am now. And what you should be learning from this is that you cannot carry pain with you in life. You cannot carry regret with you in life. You need to use that awareness to make better choices next time. Be braver, stand up for yourself, walk away when you shouldn't, listen to your intuition. That is what you learn with regret. Not, oh, I regret being with this person. They did X, Y. Shut up. Do not regret that because you obviously loved them at the time. They obviously meant something to you. And now they don't, and that's okay. But don't regret being with that person. I'm sure if you looked at it, you probably did have some beautiful memories with them. But what did you do? You didn't walk away when you should have. You didn't listen to your intuition when they were crossing your boundaries. I've got a whole video on this about, having boundaries and that kind of thing and being an empathetic person. So definitely go and watch that. I'll link it on at the end of this. But that is what regret is. Other than that, you need to trust yourself more. And if there is anything that you regret in life right now or you're holding on to, I really want you to look at it and zoom out and look at it in a way that you are going to learn from it. Let's say it is that relationship with somebody. I really regret being with them. Okay, but why? What is that even supposed to mean? You were with them for 2 years. You obviously respected and loved them, held them in your space for 2 years, and you're going to regret being with them now? Why? What, because they hurt your feelings? Because they want to move on with somebody else? Because they've moved on with their life and you're not moving on? Or because, I don't know any of the reasons why, but why? I would never say I regret something. It's all an experience and it all teaches you something going forward about what you want and what you don't want. I've been in 3 long-term relationships. People could be like, oh my God, you must suck at dating. No, I'm actually pretty good at being a girlfriend, I think. And I love relationships. But every single one of those relationships taught me something about myself. And what I wanted, who I wanted to be around, what I respect, what my boundaries are. It taught me all about finding self-love because I needed to go find self-love. That was the biggest thing. What about the jobs that I've ever been in? I don't regret any of them because I've done some shitty jobs. I've worked up in the mines as a driller's offsider. You wouldn't even know what that is, but it's probably the hardest labouring job in mining. I've worked as a labourer on building sites. I've worked in call centres. I've worked in everything you can imagine, retail, like everything. And none of it I regret because every single time I turned up into a job, I learned something. 1, I met people. 2, it built my character, especially with labouring jobs and jobs that are really hard on your body. It made me mentally tough. And I don't regret that because I think that's part of the reason that I have so much ambition to want to train the way that I train. And yeah, so I don't regret much. I probably regret the times that I could have maybe taken more chances on things. I wouldn't even say I regret, but what I should have done is started the YouTube sooner. But if I had started 2 years ago, I wouldn't have been this happy, healthy, in this place that I'm in now. to be able to show up for you, to be able to give you this advice. I needed to go through everything I needed to go through. So I can't sit here and regret it and be like, oh, I should have shown up 2 years ago. Oh my God, I've missed the boat for YouTube and that kind of thing. And everybody thinks that, regretting not doing something and then continuously not doing it, but then still regretting it, to me seems so stupid. Like, what if I kept sitting here and be like, oh, I should have just kept, I wish I did the YouTube. I wish I did it. I'm regretting that I'm not doing it. Did it. Just do it. Just start. I don't really understand why you have to regret it. You can just start and just build onto it. Every single day is a day closer that you get to your dream if you're just going to move that 1%. So don't regret it. Just do the action instead. So that's how I would change regret for you. And I hope this really helped you think about, that heaviness that you may have around regret. Because it doesn't need to be. It doesn't need to be an angry thing. It doesn't need to be heaviness. It doesn't need to be a sad thing. It just needs to be like, I learned my lesson, and now I will continue with whatever is next for me. Universe, show me what's next. Show me how beautiful it can get. Show me how wonderful it can get. Because it gets better, I promise you, if you keep with that mindset. If you keep telling the universe. I sit in the shower every time I'm in the shower. I'm just like, I'm amazing. I'm great. I can do anything today. When you have high levels of self-love and like you actually, one, are less fearful to take risks and probably less regretful in a lot of things. It comes back down to self-love, comes back down to self-respect. It all links in. This is what this whole channel is about. So think about that. Just think about it. And thank you for listening, and I appreciate you so much. I can see all the likes and the subscribes and the time and the comments, and it's just beautiful, and I appreciate it, and thank you so much. Ciao.